What's up, guys? Block FPL here, and today is that day. Today is the deadline for game week 1 of the Fantasy Premier League season, and I am very excited. Let me go through my team one last time. I think this is my final team selection. I'm still not completely decided between Webster and Veltman, but everything else I'm pretty much decided on, so let's take it one step at a time. Let's start off with the forwards. I got Ings and Antonio up front. I think these are pretty solid picks. There's really not much debate about these in my head. Ings is 100% going to be in my team and has been for a while now. The opening 3 fixtures are simply too good. I think he's going to be my vice captain for this week. Watford's arguably the best fixture to start with. Ings is such a quality player. I don't think this one's that hard of a pick. Antonio is sort of in the same category. I think he's a really quality player. He's probably in a better attacking side than Villa, but he's got a little bit worse fixtures. He does cost 0.5 less, but I think both of these guys, I put him in my top 5 best value video, and I definitely think they're right up there. Now, the midfield is a little more controversial based on what other people have told me. I think it's a good midfield, of course. That's why I picked it. Starting off with the obvious pick of Salah. Of course I have him. Of course I captain him. It's Salah versus Norwich. Mane is the pick that I'm not completely sure about it. I'm not going to change it at this point. The thing is that Mane plays Norwich game week 1 and Bruno plays Leeds. Now, I'll probably talk about this a lot. The deadline stream that starts an hour and 30 minutes before the deadline. But the Mane-Bruno decision is a tough one. It's not an easy one. I'm not super confident that Mane is going to outscore Bruno. In fact, I have plans to go to Bruno pretty early on, especially if Mane doesn't gain confidence from the Norwich game. I think confidence will be very important considering how he struggled last season. But whenever Bruno played Leeds, I thought Leeds gave him a tough matchup for the way he played. He did score in one of them. I think he had a pretty good game in one of them. The other one he blanked, and he really didn't get any big chances that game, if I remember correctly. The one goal he did score was, I felt very lucky. I felt like Luke Ayling definitely should have blocked that shot. It just happened to sneak through his legs, and I feel like it was sort of a low XG goal, I guess you could say, if you want to quantify things. But yeah, Mane against Norwich, I think there's more big game possibility in that game rather than Bruno and Leeds. So I'm targeting game week 1 a lot with this pick, and then from there, I'll see what happens. If Mane gains confidence, I'll certainly just leave him in for the Burnley game. But Southampton is a fixture I really want to target for Bruno, so maybe I'll bring in Bruno game week 2. Regardless, Mane plays Chelsea game week 3. That could be a good time to bring in Bruno. Not that Bruno's fixtures are absolutely amazing after that point. And it would actually have me miss out on some of Mane's good fixtures game week 4, 5, and 6. So it's just something I have to think about. But yeah, I'm going to start off with Mane, see how it goes. If he just looks bad, I do think he's overpriced long term. I would not hold him at 12 million in my team for a long time. But I think I could say the same for Bruno, especially considering that I don't really think they're going to call as many penalties to start this season, given the rule changes. I think they're going to probably overcorrect themselves and not call very many. Of course, Man United are very good at getting penalties, but you know what? I think Mane over Bruno for at least game week 1 makes sense to me. That's the pick I'm going to make. And I've been very influenced to do otherwise by a lot of people saying I should go Bruno, but I'm pretty confident with Mane. I think it's a reasonable decision, so I'm going to go with it. Gundogan is someone I'm honestly pretty confident in. The one issue is the fixtures. He's going to start, I believe. He's going to start the first 3 game weeks, I would say, if I had to guess at least. I liked his attacking play in preseason. So the 2 friendlies he started, he scored twice in the first one, and against Leicester, he had 4 shots. And I feel like there was that one shot that if that one flies in, or the free kick, but I'm talking about probably his best chance was the sort of rebound ball that came back out to him, and he shot it from inside the box. I think he blasted it over. But that was one of those ones that Gundogan could easily finish. I'm like, you know what? If that one flies in, a lot more people will be jumping on him. I'm not going to avoid getting him just because he missed his chances, and I was already big on him, and just the fact that he's still playing in an attacking role in this Man City team is very good. No KDB. Gundogan is always good in those situations. In fact, I believe his XG per 90 minutes doubles in games without KDB. That's expected goals, by the way, if you don't know what XG stands for. So yeah, Gundogan, a lot of shots, a lot of big chances when KDB isn't involved. So at 7.5, I think he's great value even though there are tough fixtures. The issue is that there are a lot of other options around that price point. Otherwise, I would be much more confident. Son. Now, Son wasn't in my team until probably the past week, and it's just because I can't avoid Son's quality. Game weeks 2 through 4, I definitely am going to want Son, even if it's with Kane or without Kane. Son's quality against these little teams is just too much, and he's somebody that I trust. He's gotten points season in, season out. We know he's a good finisher, and he knows how to create chances for himself and take chances, and he takes corners. Look, Son got a goal or an assist every 121 minutes maybe 119 minutes last season. And with those good opening 4 fixtures, besides game week 1, which he did score once against Man City last season, and I could definitely see him getting something on the counter against them. I just think this is a trustworthy choice. I'm spending $10 million just because I trust Heung-min Son here. And Smith Rowe is a recent introduction to my team. So I will start off by mentioning the rotation that I'm planning. I'll put it up on screen now. Basically, Smith Rowe comes in game week 1 and then from 4 onwards, as long as he's able to hold a spot that long. And Tsimikas plays game weeks 1 and 2. Webster could play 2, but he will definitely play 3 for me. And Soufal could play 2, but he'll play all the other ones. But as far as those 2 spots go, Reguilon will come in game week 2 and play as well. So next week, this will be a 4-4-2 with Shaw, Tsimikas, maybe Webster, and Reguilon. And then Smith Rowe and Soufal maybe on the bench. Or maybe I keep Soufal in there. But Reguilon is someone I recently introduced to my team. Again, the good fixtures, game week 2 through 4, I really like those for Spurs. At only $5 million in Wolves' new system under Nuno, I think Reguilon's a great fit at only $5 million. I'm willing to take a chance on him. He did have 6 assists last season, more than Luke Shaw, for example. So that's pretty impressive. And hopefully he'll get even more minutes this season and be a more reliable option, which I hope he will be. I definitely think he's high upside, especially in those great fixtures. But back to Smith Rowe real quick. It's really just the fact that I get great fixtures out of him when I will have him in my team. He's only 5.5 at that price point. I do think he's the best option. I could go in Mbuemo as well, but just having that extra money and not going up to Harrison allows me to have Webster on the bench instead of a 4.0. So it just gives me that little bit extra depth that I like, and I can play Smith Rowe against Brentford, and then I can bench him effectively and bring him back for Norwich. So I play him in game week 1, Brentford, game week 4, Norwich. Those are very good fixtures. I'll take it at 5.5. I think that works pretty well. I'm glad I figured out a rotation that I like. I love playing the fixtures, so it really fits my style, I suppose you could say. Luke Shaw is in there for obvious reasons. Very creative, good defense, good fixtures. You have to have a Man United defender. I thought about doubling up on Man United defense recently, but I decided against it. And then we have Sanchez in goal. And the main man himself, Tsimikas, the one that changed this team completely because I no longer have Robertson or Trent. Obviously, Robertson's hurt. The reason I don't have Trent is, I just think that Soufal, Tsimikas, Shaw, and Reguilon, over the first 4 game weeks at least, and the way I'm going to work this rotation, I think I can make up for that. So Trent is 7.5, for example. Tsimikas is 4 million. Me doing that downgrade and getting 3.5 million, I think I can use that much more effectively elsewhere. I'm perfectly happy playing these defenders and these fixtures for the first 3 or 4. After that, I don't really have a plan to get Trent in, but I can always do Gundogan down to a 4.5 and change formations, or simply come up with the money somehow to go straight from Tsimikas to Trent would probably be the easiest way. That's a lot of money. It'll probably be like 3.5, 3.7 range. But if I want Trent bad enough, it'll happen. But hopefully my defenders are playing well and I don't really have to. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to make sure my team is set up in a way just so 5 game weeks from now I can get a player that may be doing well, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that, right? I'm not going to desperately plan to make sure I have a great plan to get Trent back in, because first of all, my players could just be doing well, Trent could be doing poorly, or it could just be, I'm not really sure, and then in that case, it wouldn't be worth making the transfer anyway. So not too determined to get him back just yet, but I'm sure at some point in the season, for example, when I use my first wild card, whenever that may be, he will come back in the team at some point. With that said, I also have Gunderson, Webster, and Parika on the bench. The 4.5 forwards, well, there's no one to really choose from there. But I will say that Sanchez is probably a weak link a little bit, but the other 8 players, very strong. I can play them every week. And then, of course, you got the 2 rotation spots that I feel like rotate pretty well with sort of my 4 players that can rotate in and out of there. But yeah, I was planning on early wild carding, but maybe that changes now. I think I can. I think I can hold off for a little longer than I was originally expecting. But with that said, let me know how you're feeling going into this Fantasy Premier League season. I will see you guys in the deadline stream very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys game week 1.